What's up, saints, friends, and others? Welcome to the King's Dominion podcast, the official podcast of Dominion Church and Dominion Institute. I'm your host, Josh Wyatt, and this week, again, back, we have Joel Launder, our associate pastor, youth pastor. That's a new thing.
Yeah.
And of course, if you've watched any of our podcasts together, my spiritual son, and someone who we love. Love you, buddy.
Love you.
You look tired. Well, that love you came out hard.
Oh, love you.
Yeah, okay.
I'm back, and they thought I was gone.
They thought, yeah, they got the glistens for 2 weeks, and they're
now,
like, yeah,
now here I am.
the gray-haired dude is gone.
Finally.
Yeah, and then, boom, just when you thought it was safe to watch the King's Dominion podcast, he's back.
Back.
Yeah, okay. We're tired.
Yeah.
I feel like we're always tired.
Every time we come to record a podcast, we're
I
always
feel like
either
we don't
leaving something
or starting
or going
something.
to go do something.
I feel like we don't time these right. So, but today we're tired for, good reason. Is there a good reason? So right before we came on, I caught myself in a yawn, and you looked at me and you were like, because I was mid yawn, and then I was like, I have to open this podcast up. Like it was, very stressful, but it's a good day. Because it's a massive day. It's a big day because the Big Ten championship is tomorrow.
Yes.
The SEC championship game is tomorrow.
Yes.
OH.
I-O.
All right. Roll Tide.
Roll.
There you
Tide.
Roll. There you go. All right.
There.
Yeah.
It's fair.
There you go. Fair. All right. And so so he's originally from Ohio, and because of our relationship, I have no problem going OH.
I-O.
And he has no problem going Roll Tide. Like it works. Okay. Until
they play each other. Which honestly this year I'm not too confident is going to happen. Like I don't think so. But I think you guys have a good chance at, going all the way. I just don't think we do. And that's okay. That's all right. We've had a good season. I'm happy with our season. It's
okay?
winning. And you made it to the SEC championship.
Made it to the SEC championship. Beat Georgia the first time. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, we beat Georgia the first time. Yeah. We won the Iron Bowl. I think we beat Tennessee. I can't stand Tennessee. We're good. It was a good season.
You beat all the people.
1 out, 10-2. We beat all the people I wanted to beat, and now we can just kind of chill regardless of what happens tomorrow. However, your fiance/wife is going to actually watch this podcast and really be frustrated with the direction of this conversation because while there are massive games tomorrow, the real reason that today is a big day is because it is your wedding day. Yeah. Okay, I can clap too. There you go. Very good. It is your wedding day. Tonight you get married. And what else do you want to do on your wedding day besides record a podcast or two?
We had talked about it, and I had said, and then we'll actually get into what we're going to talk about.
Right.
But I was like, no, we came here and talked about the wedding, and then we came here before I think we came here like
the bachelor trip, right?
And now they're invested.
Yeah.
And they need to know
They need an update.
They need to know, when is he actually getting married?
Yes, it is.
Today.
It is now. It is. I'm so caught up on recordings that, I think this will air a month from now. Yeah. So happy 1 month anniversary.
Thank you.
And so, but today, as we record this, is wedding day, and we're stoked about it. We're excited. We were up late last night because, for those of y'all, most of you know, but if you've watched our other podcast, but he lives with us. And so he's in the process as of tonight of moving in with his fiance who will be his wife. And so the decorating for the wedding took a lot at the venue last night. That was a lot till midnight. And then we came home and we're doing our last night which of course he's moving 5 minutes away. He's not moving, and he's probably still going to be at my house all the time.
Minimum of twice a week.
Absolutely. Just because family dinner, we got to make it happen. But he is, moving in with his wife. And so just those last minute things and that kind of thing. And so it was a late night. I think I went to bed at 5:30.
I went to bed at 4.
Yeah.
And I was up at 6.
He was up at 6 this morning. And we are now here.
Yes.
So we're a little bit tired. And that's okay. Right?
Yes.
You don't look confident.
We're good.
Your gray is graying today.
Yeah, it looked really bad on the camera.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fix it before we started.
Yeah.
But it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about...
Here we go. Yeah. We're going to talk about... You're just trying to quit talking about the gray hair. We're going to talk about 5 relationships every king needs to have in his life. Or I'll say her life, because when we say the word king, we're talking about both genders, or kings and queens. Basically, when we talk about kings, we're talking about you.
We're talking about us. We're talking about, the Word of God says, I have a scripture here somewhere, not on those notes that I sent you, but in the book of Revelation, talking about us. And of course, we teach our people this, that Jesus is the King of Kings. Who are those kings?
We are.
We are. Boom. So in Revelation chapter 1 and verse 6, it says this, and he has made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. So he made us kings. And then, of course, Romans chapter 5, verse 17, CEV says this, death ruled like a king because Adam had sinned, but that cannot compare with what Jesus Christ has done. God has treated us with undeserved grace, and he has accepted us because of Jesus, and so we will live and rule like kings. So we are kings, okay? And so when I say 5 relationships that every king needs in his life, we're talking about you. 5 relationships you need in your life. 5 relationships I need in my life, and 5 relationships Joel definitely needs in his life.
Yes.
And this was interesting and super fun because I've taught on this at our church. And we, in our times, in our conversations, which we have so much of, I thought maybe next year, because we're getting close to Christmas and we got a lot of podcasts recorded out.
Yeah.
So maybe next year we need to do like a podcast series. Hear me out. I'm good at marketing. This could be good. I can make a graphic and everything, right?
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Quote, Dad, I have a question.
We really could.
We really could. That could be a whole series of podcasts.
We'd have to remember some of my questions.
Yeah, some of them I wish I could forget.
Well, some of them we're not going to ask because they were like really hypothetical and not very
and didn't make any sense at all. But that could be a whole thing. However, in our discussions, even pertaining to this topic, we figured out that a lot of these relationships we are to each other, like a good chunk, at least 3 or 4 of them. And so, but either me to you or you to me, vice versa. And so who better to talk about these 5 different relationships with than, of course, you, son.
Yeah.
And so we're stoked. We're excited. Before we do that, let me ask you this. Navigating different relationships is massive, okay? It's a huge deal because that's one thing in your life. The biggest resource in your life is not money, it's relationships, okay? And I've taught you that the most valuable thing in life isn't money, it's time. Because you can make more money, can't make more time, okay? But the most important thing in life is not things, it's people. Okay, so navigating those relationships is critical and massive. And something that I will say, because you're still young and you're, incredible, but you're still like you graduated high school a year ago, okay?
Yeah.
And you do turn 20 this month, but you are currently 19. So it's not typically something 17, 18-year-olds are like processing and like thinking about and meditating on these relationships in their life, okay? I'd say in the last year, you've began to take inventory of the relationships in your life. What has that done for you, being more attentive to the different kinds of relationships in your life, giving the time to the ones that you say are fueling you, maybe not cutting people off, but depleting some people that deplete you, maybe reallocating some of that time?
Yeah.
What is being more intentional about your relationships done for you here in the last year?
So when I first started paying attention to my relationships, I found myself pouring everything I had into everybody.
Right.
Not even like in a ministry sense, just my personality. Like I was going and talking to everybody.
Which is probably your call. It's probably connected to your call, but if not harnessed correctly, you will drain yourself.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
I found myself drained all the time.
Yep.
And then I heard you talk about a sermon series about or in a car ride too. Time's very important, and who you spend time with is super important. And I self-evaluated myself, and I was going through and said, okay, what relationships fuel me, make me feel better, re-energize me, make my spirit stir, and what relationships do the exact opposite.
Right.
Or what relationships literally do nothing except I talk to them.
Yeah.
And then I prioritize the ones that make me re-energize.
They'll get the most time.
They get the most time.
Yep.
Which is why I've said literally to anyone, there's no one except my wife and my family now that is going to make this relationship anything different.
Right.
And even then, my wife also has a relationship.
Absolutely.
She was your spiritual daughter before I was ever your spiritual son.
Right.
So, and she understands that, and she goes, no, I want you to go to him.
Well, and you've had those conversations where it's, again, like, you've even had conversations with her, and she wouldn't mind us saying this, where you've told her, like, look, you are my priority and will always be my priority. I had a close relationship with Dad before we ever started dating.
Yeah.
And like, there's never going to be a point that you can say, hey, we're cutting off from him. Like that's not happening. That's not happening. You're not unhooking from your spiritual father. That's not what's happening. And she's like, we would never do that.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, because she loves us and we love her and we pour into her equally. And so she's like, we would never do that. Which I love and appreciate the fact that, again, I tell people there are 3 relationships that you cannot afford to be offended by.
Yeah.
I will not be offended by any of these 3 relationships. Number 1, my relationship with God. God can't offend me. I mean, he can chew my tail out, but I won't get offended by him.
Yeah.
Number 2, my spouse. I about said mom because that's what you call her, but my wife, Pastor Hope, cannot offend me. Frustrate me, sure. Cannot offend me. I will not get offended with my spouse. That is too massive of a relationship in my life, okay, for me to get offended. Mm-hmm. Number 3, my pastor, my spiritual father. I literally, in teaching the other night, I literally said like he could do anything. Okay.
Yeah. Are you going to use your example?
He's short. Okay. So, I mean, he was on the last podcast. Ain't nothing wrong with being short. Okay. I think he's 5'7"3/4.
You got to have the 3/4.
The 3/4. That's what his wife said. That's what Pastor Marcy said. And so anyways, I was like, literally he could walk up, and I'm not talking about spiritual abuse. Okay. I'm being dramatic just to kind of prove a point. But because I so believe in his voice in my life and so believe that God connected me to him, nothing's going to sever that connection.
Yeah.
He could walk up, chew me out and deck me in the face, and I'd get up and say, thank you. Like, I appreciate you doing that. I probably needed it, you know? And so now that's dramatic. However,
well, we can talk about the real one that happened that I don't think most people would like.
Of yours?
Yeah.
Hit me with it.
Well,
which one?
You an idiot.
I did.
But you my idiot.
Well,
But that was because I did something dumb.
You did do something. You was an idiot.
I was being an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, you know, so it was something that you like literally, you hear from God.
Yeah.
You talk to God.
Yeah.
You know God.
I do.
And you walk down and you're like, I need help with this decision and I don't know what to do and I'm so stressed about it and I don't really know what to do. And I said, have you talked to the Lord?
I said no.
And you looked down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think you answered. You may have answered later, but like you like looked down and got real. And I said, yeah, guess because you an idiot.
But.
And I said, but you my idiot. You know, then that's okay.
But that also brings into what we talked about the last time I was on the podcast without relationship breeds rebellion.
Right.
But because our relationship runs so deep, you could literally say anything.
That phrase is massive.
It's because he loves me.
Rebuke without relationship brings rebellion, okay? But because of our relationship, I've told you a million times, as our relationship deepens, that rebuke might increase, but you can take it because you know it's because I love you. I would do anything for you. Anything for you. And you going to come to my house 2 or 3 times a week, even after you get married, and your wife going to come too.
And make peanut butter cookies.
And hang out because you don't, adult children, disown your parents just because you get married. Get it straight. Yeah. In Jesus' name. Anyways, moral of the story, there are 3 relationships I will not. And again, I love what you brought out even about some things I teach about time. Because I'm more picky about where I spend my time than where I spend my money. Because if I waste money, I'm not saying that's wisdom, but if I waste money, I'll go make more money. Money is something that is just like a bottomless pit. You can go make more of it. Every week you're making more money. Yep. You know what you can't get more of? Time. So I will be more picky about where I spend my time and who I spend my time with than I will about where I spend my money or what I spend my money on. I mean, I'm not advocating for not using wisdom with our finances, but I'm saying time is way more valuable than money.
Oh, yeah.
So because of that, the people that God has connected me to, the people that fuel me, the people that mean something to me are the people I'm going to spend my time with. And if I see relationships that I'm like, this is a one-sided relationship, I might reallocate some time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying just cut people off, but I might say, hey, you won't get as much of my time in this season as you got in my last season because that's not fruitful. I'm sowing a lot and not reaping. Okay. And the only reason why you would sow and not reap is because the ground's not good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much you sow into bad ground, you never will reap a harvest because the ground's not good. How many relationships are you constantly sowing into and going, well, maybe if I just keep giving them more of me, maybe if I keep sowing, maybe it'll change. Maybe it doesn't. The soil of their heart has to change.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's a word. 5 relationships every king needs to have in his or her life. Okay. We base this off of the life of King David, okay? And 5 relationships that he had in his life. So 5 relationships every king needs to have in his life. Number 1, a Samuel. It was Samuel that shows up at Jesse's house, right? And says, I'm here to anoint the new king. And in the process of that, they bring out all the older brothers. Didn't even call for David. Didn't even say like, hey, he exists. Okay,
he was in the field.
He was in the field. He was doing him, right? And did not even worry about David. And Samuel's like, it's not him. It's not him. It's not him. So often, and I teach this too, God leads us by red lights and not green lights. Meaning God never said, go to Jesse's house and anoint David. He just said to go anoint Jesse's son. And when he got in front of the wrong ones, he said, this is not him. So know when to recognize, this ain't it in your relationships. You may not always get a, this is it, but you might get a, I get an uncomfortable feeling when I'm around you. I get a red light. I get something that's like,
you make me feel uneasy.
Uneasy feeling, you know? And this is what Samuel's getting. He's saying, it's not him. Red light. It's not him. I got a red light in my spirit. It's not him. And then he says, is there somebody else? Because it's not any of these. And they go, well, I mean, there's David. And David, they bring him in. He anoints him. Samuel sees something in David that David doesn't see in himself, but David's siblings don't see, and David's parents don't see, and nobody sees.
Nobody.
The sheep don't even see. I'm going to tell you the one people that knew that David could kill Goliath. Well, they're not people, but just track with me here. The two individuals who are not human that knew that David could kill Goliath, the lion and the bear. Fair. Yeah. I mean, the only people that was like, yeah, that if they have an afterlife, because they did, but and they don't. But Samuel, that relationship in your life, it's a vertical relationship. We talk a lot about vertical relationships and horizontal relationships. Horizontals are peers, those that are alongside you. Verticals are those that are over you or beneath you. Vertical, up and down. And so, like you, how you can jump, you're vertical. Yeah. I don't be jumping. Okay.
You can.
You
touched the ceiling the one time.
I can touch the ceiling standing flat footed and put my arm up.
Well,
that's perks of not being 5'7" and 3/4, Apostle Earl. But he probably won't see it. I'll screen record this and send it to him. Anyways, moving on. I can't jump. You jump. All of that to say, Samuel is that person in your life that sees that thing in you that you don't even see in yourself, and your family doesn't see in you, and nobody sees in you. But Samuel sees it. Yeah. It's a vertical relationship. Somebody above you that looks at you and goes, I see that in you, okay? It's a prophetic voice in your life. It's somebody that speaks into your destiny, somebody that sees your future and treats you accordingly. Okay. And even we've struggled with that. Not we've struggled with that, but in navigating other relationships in your life. And I have no issue saying this because I'm me and I'll say anything. Even within people in our church and people that we're connected to via family, friends, whatever. When you came to our church, bro, you was ugly. I mean, I love you so much, son.
I know.
But like, not ugly, maybe, but like, I mean,
I had glasses and braces. No offense to anyone who has glasses or braces. They just
what's
don't
wrong
look
with
good on me.
Glasses and braces? Yeah.
They don't look good on me.
So you did not have any facial hair.
Yeah, that part too.
All right. You were an 18-year-old scrawny kid. That's where you gained all that weight.
Yeah.
And went up 5 pant sizes.
Literally.
So anyways, glasses, braces, no facial hair, just this nerdy little kid. Just, I'm not down.
And I was shy.
And super shy. So as you developed, okay, through your relationship with God first and foremost, and secondly, your relationship with me.
Yeah.
As you developed, you turned into Pastor Joel. And it wasn't the facial hair that did it. That's so shallow. It wasn't losing the braces that did it or getting contacts that did it, but all of that came with it. And now people look at you and they see Pastor Joel. You have developed into somebody who is a leader, who is bold, who preaches, prophesies, does podcasts and things like that, leads people. And it has been a challenge at times to get people who knew the old Joel to receive Pastor Joel.
Yeah.
And honor you as such. But a Samuel in your life sees you and sees your future and treats you accordingly. Because when I saw, and I'm not bragging on me, but you can vouch for this. We're sitting here on a podcast. You can tell me if I'm wrong, okay? When I saw braces Joel, glasses Joel, nerdy, no facial hair Joel that wouldn't talk to anybody in high school, I always saw Pastor Joel. He was in there the whole time. It took some time to get him out, which is normal.
Yeah.
But he was there the whole time. And I always treated you like that was there. That's a Samuel. Somebody in your life that sees your destiny and navigates that with you, but treats you like that. Doesn't treat you like what you are, but treats you like what they know that you're called to be. You know?
Are you going to share the story? Do we have enough time for you to share the story of the...
If you tell me which story, I'll share it quickly.
The one when everyone's like, who's that? The first time I ever came to the church, and it wasn't even for a service.
Yeah. When I said I called you a kid, but you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, and before anything even developed.
No, it was my first time literally ever meeting you.
Literally. So we had like a family. Your parents had joined the church. You hadn't yet, but your parents were coming to the church. And we had like a family fun something. We were playing cornhole. We were eating and playing cornhole after church. And you as a sinner, because did you go to church anywhere, or did you go to that little Baptist church?
No, I didn't go anywhere.
You can go to church nowhere. That's worse. Going to hell. I'm kidding. Not anymore. You saved now.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding about you being saved. You are saved.
Yeah.
But you called your parents and was like, what are y'all doing? We're over here. We're playing cornhole. Who's all over there? Yada, yada, yada. You pull up. And everybody's asking, like, who is this dude? Like, who is... He just showed up, didn't come to church, just showed up for lunch, and he's playing cornhole, and he's pretty good. And so it's the only time I'll ever say you're good at cornhole. Yeah. And so anyways, everyone's like, who is this? Yada, yada, yada. I got in the car, and I told Mom, my wife, your spiritual mom. I told Mom, I said, there is something about that kid. I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to put words on it, but there is something special about that kid. And she said, I'll tell you exactly what she said. She said, don't make him your little project. And I said, I'm not. And I didn't.
No, you didn't.
She said, don't make him your little project. I said, baby, there's just something. I'll actually say what I said. It's a biblical term, which nobody will understand. But when I get around people that are connected to my destiny, Jesus and John the Baptist were connected. They were also cousins, but they were connected. And when Mary, pregnant with Jesus, gets around Elizabeth, John the Baptist's mother, who is pregnant with John the Baptist leaps within her. And so when I get around people that are connected to my destiny, I say this phrase, my spirit does it, but I say this phrase, my baby jumped. Like something in me leaped, okay? Yeah. And so I got in the car and I said, there's something special about that kid. And then she said, don't make him your project. And I said, hey, I'm not. I'm just saying, just being around him made my baby jump. Like it activated something in me, okay? That was... a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it was, 6 to 8 months after that you told me I was your spiritual father. Another 2 or 3 months after that, you moved in with us. And then of course, 6 months of living with us and you're getting ready to get married. But I always saw Pastor Joel.
Yeah.
A Samuel in your life. Everybody needs a Samuel. Or multiple Samuels. Everybody needs a vertical in your life that looks at you prophetically and says, I see this in you. You don't see it in you. Your family might not see it in you. Your friends that you're cool with right now might not see it in you, but I'm looking at you and I'm seeing everything you're called to be, and bless God, we're going to pull it out of you.
Yeah.
And what it does is it makes a David rise to the occasion. Mm-hmm. It makes a David go, I can be king, because Samuel thought I could. It makes I'll say something about one of my Samuels. Of course, I have spiritual fathers, Apostle Earl, and I have different mentors, Pastor Joel Sims, Apostle Janet Alcorn, and we could name a bunch. We have an advisory board.
Yeah.
But I recently got a massive opportunity, and we won't talk about it, but you know about it. And you're taking us to the airport on Monday.
I am.
Even after you're married, because you're not disowning us after you get married, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Anyways. So you'll take us to the airport on Monday, and we have a big opportunity to go do something for the kingdom of God.
Yep.
When we got the opportunity, I got the call. I was honored, amazed, shocked, wondering why me. You remember what my pawpaw said? I called my pawpaw, who is a Samuel in my life, who saw something in me when I did not see it in myself. I called my grandfather, okay? And I said, hey, I just want to let you know I've got this opportunity. And actually, I was calling my Mimi, but I'm always on speaker when I call her.
Yeah.
And I'm letting him know I got this opportunity. And from the background, I hear him yelling, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew you were going to be great. That's why I got out of your way, was exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone that knows you're going to be great, because I get off the phone and I'm like, well, I didn't. I didn't know I was going to be great. What is a Samuel? Somebody that knows you're going to be great when you're like, I had no clue. Really?
Yeah.
I had no clue, Somebody that sees that in you, a prophetic voice, a vertical voice, somebody over you that looks at you and says, I see that in you. I'm going to treat you like that. I'm going to treat you like the man of God that you are. I'm going to treat you like the minister that you are, the dad that you are, the husband that you are, even though none of that's there.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying this in the time we have left. I mean, your fiance who you'll marry tonight has a 3-year-old daughter, just turned 3.
Yep.
And we love her.
Yes.
Okay. And we love her. She has a name for me that's borderline blasphemous. And so we'll talk about that later. But in that, you started like dating Kaysen in March.
Yeah.
June rolls around. Who got you your first Father's Day gift?
You did.
Why? Because you're dad.
Yeah.
You were a dad at that point. And before anybody ever realized you were going to be that kid's dad, your dad got you a Father's Day gift. Why? Because a Samuel sees something in you and treats you accordingly, treats you according to your destiny. So here's a question, and this is what we want to end with you asking yourself. Who recognizes my destiny? Who sees that in me? Who is the one that looks at me and sees something in me that I'm that for you.
Yeah.
Who is that for them? Who is it that looks at me and sees something that I don't even see in myself? That's your Samuel. And every king in his life needs a Samuel. So who is yours? We'll talk back next week.